Yeah.
Just turn the camera.
So, what is the fifth dimension, and what is the benefit of evolving to this space where you can go there? And who are we really? How do we access more of our multidimensional selves? We're going to explore these questions and many, many more with Marilyn and Zazar today. But first, we have Alcazar hovering here, and he's wanting to say a few words.
Beloved ones, we have stressed for many years the importance of community. And we are deeply, deeply honored this day to be coming together with a beautiful, beautiful lady, Marilyn, who brings through the essence of Zazar. It is a great honor for us to be sharing this with the Stargate community and beyond. It is a demonstration that we all need to come together. There are so many paths and avenues to the beyond, and it is important to be aware of many of them to find those ways that you are supported in discovering your own self. And this one, Zazar, has so much to offer to humanity. And so it is, again, our great honor to be here with this beautiful one and to hear the words that he brings, but more importantly, the energy behind the words. And so, beloved Marilyn, we welcome you and thank you for your service. Okay?
Thank you, Alcazar. So we first heard about Zazar through Stargaters who are going wild over this connection. And we instantly felt how heart-centered and expansive the energy is. And so we knew we needed to connect with you. So welcome, Marilyn. We're so excited to be sharing your energy, your guide Zazar with the Stargate community. So can you tell us, what's your story? How did you connect with Zazar? But first, who is Zazar?
Well, I am learning every minute of every day who Zazar is. There was a time when I thought I understood who he is. And the more I understand, the more I realized he was even more. And he keeps expanding. And, part of that, in all honesty, is how I'm able to expand and become more multidimensional. And as I am, of course, he comes in even stronger, even higher, with more information for Earth. And so some of who he is depends on who I am and how I'm willing to make this path my path. And as I expand, I realize he's omnidimensional. He steps down into a body. You see a picture of him that is a combination of extraterrestrial genomes, because when you get evolved, you can step down into a fifth dimensional body and you can choose your DNA that best does your mission. And so he's part Arcturian. He's a wonderful part of him is his elfin extraterrestrial beingness. Not many humans know about the Elfins, but I adore them. And he's also a bit Pleiadian. And all of these things combine so that he can step into a body and thus make it easier to channel through me. So that is who Zazar is. And it was a long process of coming to channel Zazar. And I have to say, when I was really little, I did go on spaceships that my biological father actually took me, and they were big, like teaching centers in the craft, where there were many human children, but also ET children, And we were learning to expand our consciousness and not allow kind of the three-dimensional world of Earth at that time to constrict us. And so we were learning all about how to expand consciousness and keep that. I remember when we were ready to go off the ship, and we were on the ship physically, I can look down at my little saddle shoes and my little dress, and I thought to myself, oh gosh, I'm going back to Earth where my consciousness feels so small and squished. And I have so many memories now of all the beautiful things that happened on the craft. And then I slowly forgot them in order to grow up sane. And then back in 2009, I was sitting in the dentist office, and I had this extraordinary experience, which now I understand what it was. But the speaker system on the dentist office was playing this most amazing space star music. And I said to the tech, you guys rock. This music's great. Now, get this. I was happening to read a section in a book about protocols for making contact with extraterrestrials. I was reading this, and this music came over. The text said, look at your phone. I don't know why I'm saying this. This was back in the day of the flip phone. You could not receive music. You could not receive pictures like now. I looked at my phone. I flipped it open. Sure enough, the music was being projected from my phone to the speaker system with a picture of a spaceship and hieroglyphics of some kind going down the spaceship. This was wild. And the tech left the room. She never did come back. She was kind of freaked out. And the dentist went through the office going, what's going on with our music? It sounds like a spaceship landing. I will always remember those words. To make a long story short, this happened 4 times with my phone. I took it to Verizon. I had the dates and times. Every time it was the same music, beautiful, really sent you, and the same spaceship. And I went to the tech, and this guy was kind of far out. He was interested in what this was, because he's like, ma'am, you can't send these things with our technology. But he went back. He was gone for like 20 minutes with the exact dates and times, comes back and said, I can only tell you this, those calls, whatever they were not human made.
Wow.
And he left it at that. Then we started at our sanctuary to do contact protocols with extraterrestrials, have had all kinds of amazing experiences here. And now I know that was Zazar calling. He said, I was checking up to see how ready you were for what was to happen a few years later. And so at that time, we did contact on our property. We have a sanctuary. We started doing retreats to begin to have this heart-led, cohesive community that was part of making contact. But then we started to realize it was much more than making contact. It was about bringing in the new human. And then Zazar came. And I've been a psychologist all my life. Now I'm channeling this being. For the first year, I went through all my doubts about who this being was. And then I realized the information that started coming through could not possibly be anything I could claim. It was extraordinary. His effect on people was extraordinary. I finally understood there are many, many ways to have portals open to all the different realities around us. And in fact, our 3D reality is quite small. And then Zazar began teaching me. Took 2 years for him to say, you're ready to kind of go out now, in terms of having enough integrity and grace to truly hold this amazing being. And so we've been slowly going out into the world. And what is so amazing is I watch Diane, my beautiful wife, and Jen. These are the 2 beautiful people that are on the Zazar team. I watch them bloom for the teachings, and I watch what they've become. I've seen what I've become. And at that point I said, I'm leaving mainstream and I'm going into the cosmic stream. Zazar always teases me now. He says, now you're in the cosmic stream, get used to it. So that's a little bit of my story, and we've been doing that since.
Wow, that's beautiful. Where is your sanctuary that you mentioned?
It is in upstate New York, right on the border of Massachusetts. It's in the foothills of the Berkshire Mountains, right on a stream with 50 acres. We have cabins, we have temples, we have portals on the property. We see, some people see fully materialized extraterrestrials walking on the property. Crafts go right over our house. Sasquatch has actually made a physical appearance twice.
Oh, wow.
And the third appearance was somebody actually ran into Sasquatch physically. So we have all kinds of things going on this property now. But the biggest thing is to help us humans know how to gather together in a community that has fifth dimensional vibrations. And it's such a beautiful experience to know we humans can be so kind and compassionate and open and in unity.
Well, I'm actually looking forward to joining you there later on in the year to receive some of this and say hi to the Sasquatch.
Say hi to the land. Yes.
Yeah.
I know, we're so excited you're coming. It's a beautiful place, and of course you will bring such beautiful energy to just make it more uplifting.
So, Marilyn, we've heard about these sessions that you're doing for people. Prageet's had his. I'm about to have mine. And do you want to describe what happens?
Well, let's Marilyn describe it first, and then I'll talk about my experience. Yeah.
So one thing Zazar has access to, one of his main missions is actually to be here to reflect our magnificent light field, which he says in 20 years, our scientists will have devices that actually measure this magnificent light field. But we've had it so dimmed by 3D living and all the programs that were never enough. We've had it so dimmed. He is here to truly be a reflector. What he sees, and now I can see through his eyes when I channel him, is the most magnificent things about the human that is sitting with him, or the community that's sitting with him. He only sees. If you can imagine walking into a community and having only the humans in the community only see how extraordinary you are, without comparisons, without judgment, without jealousy. He sees that, and he teaches us how to see that. One of the ways he does that is he's able to see into your soul matrix, which holds all of your incarnations. Now, in the past, there's been quantum healers who help you get in touch with past lives. And a lot of times people want to get in touch with lives that have been hard, or the reason they have a neck problem is because of another life. Zazar has come to open corridors to our soul matrix, to some of our highest evolved incarnations. And in doing so, many things start to happen. But these higher incarnations that step forward, he does not choose them. He simply is able to go to that, be such a magnificent light himself, that these incarnations show up and begin having conversations with him about you and why it's important for you to know about them. And as he does this, corridors open between you and the soul matrix. So you're also downloading this incredible, beautiful liquid light that holds all of your incarnations. And that comes through as these higher incarnate beings begin to give you essences that actually will stir more memories of the mission you're here on earth to do. So it is one of the most magnificent things he does, to say, this is how magnificent you are. So magnificent, these higher incarnate beings have come to me to tell you how evolved this life is meant to be for you. And they're here to help you. And I know this, that there's not a guardian or guide that I've ever had as close and intimate as guides from my own higher incarnations, because that's me in a higher level. And so he's able to access this for us. What we do with it is a whole nother thing.
And these incarnations, people often think of incarnations about previous lifetimes on Earth, but this is beyond that.
Well, I'll tell you something. he says that the highest incarnations that he brings forth will not be human, because for certain on earth they won't be human, because we haven't evolved enough to have that be one of our highest incarnations, except the one we're in now. And the one we're in now will be just as evolved as these higher incarnations that come to us to help. And that to me blows my mind in and of itself. And keep in mind, in the soul matrix, there is no time and space. So this is all happening at once. It's not the past. And that's a hard concept for us humans, because we're so locked into, well, if I'm living now, how does all these other incarnations, how are they going on right now? It's just because we don't understand the technology of no time, no space.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, for me, it was very touching because Zazar introduced me to three aspects. And one of the aspects was this cosmic priest that channeled between dimensions. And that and that was like, wow.
Universes.
But sorry, thank you. Universes.
Yeah, he's channeling energy from other universes.
Yeah, I apologize. I forgot.
Yeah.
Thank you. And then there was another aspect which works with timelines and time jumping. And that was incredible. And then the third was somebody who worked with grid systems. And it's like, when I heard this and kind of meditated over it, it's like, wow, I'm already in some way connected, because all those things have been happening. We've been doing timeline jumps with people in workshops, but now it's like, wow, how can I bring those in more? How can I allow that influence to be more part of my humanness? And that's what's truly exciting. And this is something that you offer in your sessions, right?
Yes. So I feel Zazar right here. Is it okay if he comments?
Yeah, absolutely.
He has to comment on what you said.
Yeah.
So hello, Julianne, Brigitte, so good to be here. You know, let me tell you before I go into what I want to say, which is many things. I'm so stimulated, excited. This is so great. But you know, one thing that is so beautiful being here with you today, Stargate is like a portal that has broken through some of the most rigid vibrations and frequencies that have captured Earth. Now, this is just what it feels like to me. And Stargate has broken through, providing the Stargate as a portal that helps humans moving consciousness to higher frequencies, whether people feel like that's what happens or not. It is truly a portal. Therefore, when I am with you right now, what is so beautiful about this is the portal is already open. And if many of those listening are your Stargaters, they've already been zooming and slipstreaming through this portal to their higher consciousness. What does that mean? It means that I am speaking to those who already have receptor sites open for the frequencies that I bring through. And I got to tell you, that is very exciting, because sometimes, you know, I am with a group of people who are still so in their hard shells. It's hard to break through that. So I want to thank you for all of your work. It has changed the planet Earth more than you can even know. And I want to say to you, Brigitte, when you opened these corridors and discovered these lives through me that time, what has happened is more higher lives are also coming through you. And this, you have beautiful fuel coming into you. And the fact that you recognize some of the essences from these lives that are impacting you already, that you already do timeline, that you already are doing consciousness grid work through the Stargate, that you already, believe it or not, are bringing the in-between universe energetics here to stimulate more of the happenings of consciousness, that you are already doing this. Know what this means about you. It means that you already are having merging experiences with your soul matrix. I find that those who have very high lives like you, Prageet, and soon you will know, Julianne, your high lives, but it is because you are in a state of the ability to merge. Why is this so important? Because what is this dimensional shift but coming out of the structured material world into becoming vibratory beings, and in that higher vibration can have the ability to merge with what? With multi dimensions, with higher ET celestial beings, for other realities that are coming into Earth. So I will pause for a moment, but I had to say that to you, Brigitte, that you have this merging energy that will allow, in and of itself, more to open to merge you with many higher multidimensional experiences. So I pause for a moment.
Thank you, Zazar.
So when you say that, I see many Stargaters and people who are on the leading edge of consciousness claiming this ability to merge with these higher realms, higher beings, and that being such a fast track to our enlightenment and our learning.
Very good. It is such a fast track because to simply open up to your higher evolved selves will fuel you to know how highly evolved your path is set forth for this incarnation to sit beside your highest incarnation. What will that do? It will actually dissolve, and this is light technology, the lowest incarnations you have for various reasons that aren't important anymore, but the light from those lives move into the soul matrix as it is merging, and that means that your whole soul matrix becomes more buoyant because of this life that you are living right now. You are causing more buoyancy in your soul matrix for it to become total six-dimensional consciousness. What is that? Where all lives, you become conscious of all lives. These higher lives that you get in touch with are already merged with almost all your lives. Now, as you merge with them, you begin to have this consciousness merge, and you can utilize that experience to begin to utilize the ability to have consciousness merging states with each other, with all the animals, with your earth, with your cosmic home. And as you break through the separation traumas you have lived through by being not connected, you raise your vibration to begin to experience what truly it is like to be fifth dimensional.
And so to me, this is the essence of healing.
Beautiful, Julianne. Beautiful. Oh, you are so right. Thank you for saying that. See, you said in one sentence what I go on in a paragraph.
Well, the reason I said that is you talk about being locked into the physical senses, and for so many lifetimes we've had access to only this dimension as we've been incarnating and learning compassion on earth, and then healing means wholeness. So what you're offering us is the wholeness of our being, just blasting through all of these layers.
So I love this. I love this because a beautiful metaphor is to think of a chunk of ice. When water collates in ice, the molecules become closer and closer, and it makes ice. It's very material. This is your material world. Inside the ice lies the essence of your magnificent life force, but it is captured by the ice. This is how 3D captures you. When you apply heat to ice, it begins to melt into water. The molecules separate a little bit, become fluid. So what is heat in this instance? It is the light that is coming in. We'll talk about in 2025, but let's not go there yet. So the light comes in, it begins to melt the ice, melt that which has been rigid material, thinking, living, feeling. And as the ice melts, guess what happens? The magnificent light from within also starts to apply more heat and light for the ice to become a beautiful water place. Once the water is there, it also can become steam. And as it becomes steam and moves, becomes vaporous. What happens in vapor with water? The water molecules separate even more, which are the material you. And in that separation of those molecules, as you become lighter, as you have higher frequencies, that separation of molecules allow more what? Light to come into that. And as more light comes in, you begin to have a figure eight now as your magnificent light field is shining up. And you have a figure eight with the above, so below. And you begin to take in more light because your magnificent light field resonates with that. And as you build that quotient, you now have the opportunity to merge with all that is. In this incarnation, in this consciousness of you, this is attainable. And that's why I am here on earth, to help you realize that really you are freeing the magnificent light field from the ice block. It may mean you have to get rid of some of the more material ideas or feelings in your life. Also learn how to receive the light that is coming in so you can break through. Now look what happens to your planet. Your planet is becoming more water. The ice is melting. Yes, and she is trying to show you something. As the waters move up into vapor, when humans begin to do this process and break free, they will begin to work with Earth so she does not have to be the role model of breaking out of the ice, turning to water, turning to vapor. You will then help the Earth return to her natural order because you have indeed followed her imprint of breaking through that which has kept you dense.
Beautiful.
Okay. So you've dropped some nuggets for us about not only the fifth dimension, but also the sixth. Can you describe these dimensions as you see them?
So in the fifth dimension, it is this is confusing because humans live in such a materialized world. You don't realize how much you define your world by the material in it. But really, all along, you've always been vibrational. Now there is studies on your planet to show your heart is vibration, frequency going out many feet. Really, it goes out forever, but you haven't the devices to show this. Your brain is frequency, your body is frequency. So what this is beginning to rise out of this material constricted concept to realize you are vibration. When you begin to realize you are vibration, you can begin to say, how do I want to feed the vibration that is present to move it into a higher level of frequency? Dimensional travel is simply understanding light technology, which is simply the understanding of that you are of a vibrational nature. So for instance, as your heart moves into a fifth dimensional heart, it no longer is restricted by the sadness, the suffering, the depression, the separation traumas, all of that. It is lifted because you begin to give your heart a diet that is different, a diet of joy and grace and integrity and compassion and kindness and joy. And there is not one moment of lapsed consciousness in the 5D, that this is where you keep your heart. Your heart would never think of doing harm because it would upset its own vibrational nature that is such joy. So it's like walking down a hallway and seeing another human come down and know without a doubt their heart is vibrating in such high frequency that it resonates with your heart, and you are merging with each other while keeping your independent uniqueness, merging without one thought of not safe, of fear, of separation, of judgment, of comparing. All of that is absent. The only thing so imagine the time in your life when you were with someone and you felt absolutely unconditional acceptance, but imagine this 24/7 all the time, and you begin to feel the high frequencies that live in the fifth dimension. Your body now is also in total alignment with your energetic body, and you know how to care for your energetic body, which keeps the higher vibration, which of and penetrates the material body to be in total alignment for the higher 5D. The mind field you will find in the 5D is totally still in terms of the brain. The brain has learned to calm and still itself because, you know, of course, in the human brain, it's not a place we often go very much, because they're in the mind of humans, it's like a pinball machine with the fragmentation all over. And so we will do come close to body and heart, but this mind will stay away from until you can still the mind and grow this circuitry of the fifth dimensional mind, which lies outside the brain area. And that mind field is a mind field that can begin to absorb the wisdom libraries of the universe, can begin to open the soul codes that you came into this life with, of all the wisdom of how, in fact, to move into these higher frequency states. It's all about frequency. And in the 5D, think of it this way: everything is aligned, including the human species. Everyone is aligned with everyone while totally respecting and knowing immediately how beautiful and magnificent you are, and seeing that magnificent uniquely in you, and doing nothing that would ever squish that. So everybody is so magnificent, right? Marilyn said to me once, "Why can't I come to your craft?" This was early on. "I want to feel what it's like to be in the 5D of the craft." And I said to her, "Well, first of all, when you came out to the hallway, you would faint because the light would be so great from everybody, you couldn't tolerate it." So I teased her to say, when your light gets to a certain level, you will be able to tolerate the incoming light. Or it would be so magnificent to you, you would cling to everybody walking down the hall, including the strange ETs that look really weird. You'd even cling to them because their energy is so magnificent. So humans are going through this phase of realizing that they can become higher vibrational beings, breaking through the material form, and even having those vibrations bring the material form more and more to a light body. And then we talk about the sixth dimension, which is a total merging experience that's going to be very hard for humans to comprehend.
Okay. Thank you so much. Cesar, you mentioned that you get to choose your DNA and you constructed this body dropping down into the sixth.
Yes.
Can you
Very
say a
good.
little bit more about that?
Well, there were certain things. I can tell you, part of my great mission is to be this channeled being that Marilyn channels. So part of how I constructed this particular body to be in, so it makes it easier as I come lower in my own vibration so she can tolerate it, is to be in this body. So if that makes sense to you.
Mm-hmm.
And so I choose a body that also resonates with some of her own DNA. Like, for instance, her father had some Pleiadian DNA, her biological father. So I wanted to be with that. The Arcturian is the part that has quite a huge minefield to incorporate and understand how to bring the wisdom pertinent to the human at a level where they could ingest it. There are many things about Arcturian. But then the Elfin ET being, of course, that is the one that is closest to my heart, because the Elfins really are the magicians of the galaxy. They know how to make the sun come up, the moon go down. They are just incredible wizards. And they are also have a great sense of humor. So as I studied humans for 150 years, I realized I better take a sense of humor down to earth, because that helps break these things, that might separate me out. So I learned through Marilyn's beautiful humor as well. And so the elfin being is so important to bring the magic in such a way that it can actually be experienced.
What a delight. So as you know, we're planning to do several experiences with you, and we're going to have a longer free taste a little bit. When's that going to
We'll
happen?
be co-creating an energy experience next week.
And then we're doing a weekend with you. So can you say something, Zazar, about what it is that you wish to share with people when we gather for these 2 days together?
So one of the things I would like to do is to help people understand what light technology is. What light technology is how to work with your vibrational field in order to understand and be re-merged and re-emerged in your own magnificent light field, and how to do that, the step process in doing that. And then being able to utilize that to be able to, what I call, expand your landing fields or your receptor sites to be taking in the light that's coming in this year. And so it's very important to know what is happening in 2025. And I hope to cover the kind of things that are happening. It's absolutely, absolutely the most amazing year yet on Earth. Can I say a little about that?
Oh,
Please.
please do, because we've been hearing this through Alcazar, through all the different channels that we're aware of, through the astrologers who say it's never happened like this before. So yes, give us some insight, please.
Okay, this is where I get really excited, so pardon me. But I say to you, there has been diamond light coming into Earth for a couple of decades now. The diamond light is that which comes from through your sun, from your galactic sun, from source sun. You have a direct alignment, actually physically in the universe right now, for Earth to receive this very powerful energy. We call it the white diamond light. It has been pouring in. This is why many of you have had awakenings. You have been open to this. You have expanded your consciousness to receive this. And so this is coming into Earth. But now, because so many of you have been receptive to it, what has happened is you have created, as you receive this light, as you expand your own magnificent light field, you've created what we call enzymic energy. What is enzymic energy? That is the human's ability to ingest and digest all this light that is coming in, not just from the source sun, but from ETs, from celestials. You have so much help on the planet now. So first of all, we had to see how receptive the human was to this awakening process. I say to you, you have been successful. There are enough of you now that are receiving this light, and so it's exponentiating itself. So in 2025, it is kind of the tipping zone for a much more intense light to be shown upon your planet, because many of you have freed this magnificent light field. And so thus you have expanded your landing fields for more light. So more light is coming into your planet in 2025 than ever before. And every astrological, every astronomical event in 2025 will be bringing in more and more of this light. So if you have eclipses, if you have meteor showers, I am telling you, there's one going on right now. It is bringing in more light. So when you know these events are taking place, be conscious of them, open to them. Get your frequencies in alignment so that you can receive this intense light that is coming in, knowing you are one of the ones that can handle it now. What is this light up to? It is up to triggering in your magnificent light field these star codes, these remembrances, these gifts, what I call soul sensory modalities, the ability to sense and know into the invisible, into these higher realities. Many of you will be having all kinds of experiences. It will confuse you. It will make some of you feel a little off balance. Sometimes I have to say to Marilyn, hold up a little bit. You're getting a little wacky with all this light you've been able to take in. Now it's back to rebalancing. And so it's this constant process of shining this light, because it is triggering within you all these codes to open up, including in your DNA, which are codes to connect you not only with all that is outside of you, but also to connect you with that which you are birthing for the new dawn to come. So you might say the fuel is increasing in 2025 like never before through all these events that are coming into Earth. Let yourself be with these events, take in the light, let yourself know you are much, much, much more than ever before you ever thought in terms of your own magnificence. You chose to come here to be one of the ones. The more there is now a number of you that are one of the ones that take in this experience of raising your light frequency. Now understand this is light technology. You have reached the level where there is enough humans to have this, that now that number of humans begins to accelerate. It is no longer a ripple. There will be created a wave of light from humans who in that light have enzymes that will, etheric enzymes that will allow other people on the earth to begin to also digest this light, also to meet their own magnificent light. And so there will be a figure eight among the humans. And this is so important to understand about 2025. You have the amazing opportunity to finally be in unity community, beginning to establish more and more of these communities where you are feeling the fifth dimensional experience. There's another thing that is open called the gateway of the blue diamond light. Am I going too fast?
No, we love it.
Okay, I'm excited because this is why I am here, to relay such information. So I say to you, this gateway has opened. The blue avians, the blue Arcturians, the blue ET beings are part of making this blue diamond light that is, think of it just as an architectural structure that it can hold the new human blueprint. It is coming into Earth now. There has been a big ship in the ocean that is also receiving this blue diamond light that it is now bringing up into the waters of your earth so that many humans can have access to it. What is it? It is blue diamond light is because you are changing in your DNA, you're opening these star codes, you're opening these gifts of psychic ability, bilocation, telepathy, all of this beautiful compassion. Because you are opening this energy coming in, this blue diamond light now has a place to land that carries the new human blueprint. So you might think of it as the fuel. You came in with the new human blueprint. You are getting rid of the ice that has captured it, and you are ready to grow and expand it. The blue diamond light specifically has been made by higher ET beings to stimulate the blueprint that you came in, and it is your birthright to expand this new human blueprint, which will be able to be the humans who move into the fifth dimension, who will move into this higher vibration. Now, this is also coming in, and so you don't think too much about it, because when I start to talk about all of this, the brain wants to go blue diamond light. Now, what does that have to do with? Don't think about it, but feel it, because I am giving this beautiful vibration to all of you right now. It's blue diamond light. It's very beautiful. Let it begin to come into you to begin to excite and fuel all this new human blueprint that you are becoming. And this will be happening to many humans in 2025, where they are actually becoming the new humans of the planet. You won't see this on your news stations. You will see further things that talk about the collapse of everything. Don't worry about that. Everything has to collapse for the new paradigm to birth itself. In 2025, much of the mechanism of the new birthing of this new paradigm will come into place. And so as this is happening, many of you in 2025 will have downloads that will help science, have downloads that will help bring in the new healing modalities from what we call the miracle mantle that lies in the fifth dimension. It is actually a real energetic field. Many of you will access some in dream time. Relationships with your galactic family, all of this disclosure thing will increase so much happening across the planet. Some of you, again, will be able to dream solutions that never have before been on your planet. This will all start to happen in 2025. This is absolutely amazing because none of your problems can be solved now by the three-dimensional old paradigms. It's done, it's past, it's breathing its last breath. But 2025 is ushering in. You will see more of the results of this in 2026. But in 2025, you will see many individuals birthing this new blueprint. And with it comes all kinds of gifts. And part of the gifts will help you understand multidimensional travel, will help you understand consciousness, will help you understand your higher incarnations. And you will open gifts that you are here to be and do that are the new modalities of the new dawn to come.
Beautiful.
So this is all happening in 2025 to so many of you. Now, when you get to a certain number like you already have, it creates a wave. And in 2025, there's even going to be more of a wave. Some of this will be invisible because as you all begin to light up, especially if you're dedicated to being in unity communities, even at retreats, which is what we do to form this, it now empowers the escalation and the acceleration of this, because the unity community forms a wheel of light that now is more impactful of going through the whole earth, changing the consciousness grid forever. And the more this happens, the more people whose dial has been turned way down, really in ice, their dial, they will have a very quick melting process and a huge awakening. This is all to come.
I found that I went through some interesting body stuff leading into the new year, 2024 to 25, and had like essentially like a self-worth meltdown, just really old stuff yesterday. I was like crying all day and I was like, oh, the moon is in Pisces. Okay. But other people seem to be going through this. The body stuff cleared itself very fast and it's fine now, but I'm wondering if you can say anything about this.
I love this, Julianne. And you know what I love about what you just said? This is an example of the new human. The new human who says on air, this is what I was going to do. This is my vulnerability. This is my sharing in order for it to help others. This is an example of what the new human does. And I just want to thank you for it, because of course it leads to some amazing answers, your question.
Yay.
And so, yes, and by the way, the moon in Pisces, don't underestimate what the moon is up to. The moon will be stimulating in some of you body changes. The moon will begin to point out the debris that gets stuck in your body. You will have body. What I say to people who are going through the body things are the emotional things. And you are right, Julianne. You are doing a major debris clearance. The good thing about you is you have awareness about it. But what I say to so many other humans, you're going to go through a lot of these crazy kind of things where you get sick or you have emotions or your mind is like useless because it's like really flitting about trying to find solutions in the 3D. It's not going to happen. But these things are all kind of squeezing out the debris field, because when you reach a certain level of breathing in the light of you and the universe, that light then is smart light when you reach a certain level, and it knows what's left in the body, mind, heart to begin to dissolve. And so you go through a dissolving process. What I say though to humans is, don't go to your old concepts of what is going on. I'm sick, or I'm not really that good enough, or all those things that are programs that have captured you in the ice. So as those programs are stimulated by the fact that you are higher light, and the higher light will shine a light on the things that still need to be released. And believe me, 2025 will be a great year of releasing. In fact, so much so, by the way, we have a craft in the light circle that surrounds Earth that will, for better way to put it, will be like a vacuum for all the releasing, so that that debris doesn't settle back in somewhere else, and will actually be able to take a lot of the debris that you are releasing out of the Earth's orbit. This is an amazing thing. You are getting so much help. And so, but you are going through light enough awareness that you will go through what else needs to be rid of. And don't be scared of that. It's a new thing that is happening. And it's okay to allow it happening, to go, oh, here comes another program. I guess I need to release. This light will help you release it. You will all of a sudden feel better, or those ideas that you're not quite good enough or whatever will simply disappear. Some will linger. That's okay too. That's just showing where the most materialized old program lies in you. And so this is going to happen a lot. Seek out the light of the moon. Seek out the light of the stars. Seek out the light of your sun. Seek out these astronomical events that happen and ask them to help wash through continued debris, because you are here to break through the debris fields. You are here to bring in a brand new paradigm. So if you think the status quo of the old paradigm densities aren't going to try to recapture you in only to keep the status quo of the 3D, it is going to come and try to get you to think that you are not all that, or you are not well. And you have to say, I am well, but I'm having a debris clearing. Now, when you go through this, you are moving up and out. And Julianne, I know this about you. I want you to hear this. And Brigitte too. When you are going through these various body things, or emotional things, or mind things, sometimes it could be your mind is just can't focus on what it is that you need to be doing because of who you are. And I want the listeners to hear this. When you are able to be who you are, and you two are this amazing, you have such light about you, you will sometimes be asked to clear out a debris that feels very familiar to you and feels like it is yours. But I am going to tell you something. When you clear out that particular debris, because of who you are and because of the waves of light coming off of you, you will be clearing that same debris for 1,000 other people, and they will not have to do that. People often ask, how does ascension, how can it move faster? This is one of the ways, but it is the humans doing it. So you agree in some higher state to carry this body thing before you enter 2025. And in flushing that out, you actually create an enzyme that gets sent to 1,000 other people experiencing the exact same thing, that will be cleared out in such a way they might have an awakening in that clearing out. So many of you who go through this have volunteered, even though you don't know this, to be a clearer of such things, even when the things feel very identified with you. But they are identified, and if you look at the larger programs of them, they are programs that are very familiar to many humans. So many of you are in such light that as you clear out the debris, I just want to say to you, you are clearing it out for so many others. And that's how this process is going to accelerate even more.
Well, that's interesting, because for the past couple of weeks I've been having body stuff. I've been thinking I should be meditating, and I can't get myself to meditate. I'm more like vegetating rather than meditating. And all the things that I feel like, oh, I need to be doing this and I need to be doing that, and the energy for it is not there. And oof.
So let me speak to that. I love this, Brigitte. Thank you so much because many people are going through this exact thing. Here is the problem. when you start to experience this sluggishness, which is also a sign of debris going, but you don't realize that, and you go, but I could do this and I could do that, and you can't seem to do it, and you're just vegetating. Here's what I say. That will make the old programs get stimulated, because you all have still circuitry in your brain of the old programs. Well, here I'm going through this and I can't even meditate. And who am I to get up and channel Alcazar? I'm not meditating at all. I don't know what all the thoughts are, but I know what you think. And so I need to do those things to show myself that I am trying. Here's what I'm going to say. There may be need for a vegetation, but when people start to give in and just vegetate because they can't do anything else, there is a trusting process about learning how to vibrate in a higher vegetation. So it's taking it back to the very state you want to vegetate. But in that vegetation state, it can trigger so many densities to come upon you that you're comatose. And you're comatose, now even more programs come in that are dense. And what I say is, you may be needing, and I say this to many because I know many are hearing this going, yes, I felt the sluggish. I felt some of these body things. I felt all this. First of all, you are preparing for this year. And this year is much bigger than you can know. Second of all, in this preparing of it, learn higher vibrational vegetating. That's one thing I've noticed. Humans, they go back to comfort vegetation. They go back to things that they think will be comfortable. I can't do anything. So people lie around watching TV, watching the news, checking out things. They do exactly the things in vegetation that bring more old programs. There's a new thing. I'm trying to teach Marilyn this actually right as we speak. How to allow higher vibration vegetation. So all the things that you can't quite get to is a message that you are really going through very important shedding. You're not going to know what all that is because it's somewhat at a higher level, except that it affects your body or your emotion. Humans need to learn higher vegetation. Higher vegetation could be something like lying in the sun of nature, lying in the snow, getting cold and learning how to get warm in some new way. So it is this, I'm going to crawl to peel an orange, which actually the orange has one of the highest citrus 5D energies. It's learning to feed your soul, your mind, your heart, your body, a new way of relaxing as you hold gracefully these new needs to shed, where don't try to meditate. Don't trust that, but let yourself lie in vegetation to the most beautiful music you can find. Let yourself lie in vegetation to the most beautiful aromas. Ask somebody to provide all this for you. To make a bed of rose petals, which you lie in. You don't have to do a thing. See, when humans learn to feed each other like this, they will be able to get through these phases much quicker. And one thing I noticed humans have a hard time doing is learn to vegetate in a much higher vibrational experience. Because most of the time, vegetation is associated with very low densities from the 3D. And so you want to move yourself back up, meditate, take a walk, do these things. How come I'm not doing these things? Because you're being called to learn how to be still in brand new ways. And this will become a new foundation to hold you through this year.
I think that's a concept that you're introducing, that very few people are aware of, this concept of vegetating in a higher vibration. I love that.
Yeah, I love that too. It's extremely helpful. And it reminds me of the concept of active recovery in peak performance research.
Very beautiful. So, you know what? If I could bring my teleportation device, I would teleport both of you here to the sanctuary, and you would have a total vegetation renewal.
Well, let's end this broadcast and bring us there now.
But this is what you humans can learn to provide for each other. Because I bet if Marilyn's team came to you and I said to you, okay, you're going to provide them with a beautiful high-level vegetative experience, you would start knowing what to provide them. And as you provide this for each other, you know, what joy is that?
Yeah.
And to watch the light and the energy begin to seep back into each one of you. And then to watch that become like popcorn for each other. And pretty soon you start resonating in that vegetation, and that rises you into a higher level of meditating, unity, all that good stuff.
That feels really good. Okay, so you mentioned teleportation. Alcazar has said that the Stargate will be used for teleportation in the future. And one of the things we wanted to ask you, Zazar, is what is your perspective on the Stargate?
I believe the Stargate is, like I said in the opening, an incredible portal that, let me put it this way, in order to use it to teleport, you will have to begin to know where you want to teleport to. In order to know that, you have to open up the light within you to guide you. Because the more you open up this magnificent light field, your star, all this becomes like a huge GPS map to direct you. What I feel the Stargate has done is help the human be able to expand and travel very fast to their highest consciousness state. And to have done this on Earth is like a miracle. To have created a device, and I hope everybody can hear this, that can rapidly teach people how to be in what I call the fifth dimensional consciousness state, to rise to it, to be in it. Now it's about learning how to drive it. And so in some ways you have to incorporate the Stargate within you. And then as you incorporate it and become the device, what the device has taught you, as you become that, then you can re-enter the vehicle of itself, and you're going to have to learn how to direct it. If all of a sudden you had a soul sensory modality called teleportation open up, it wouldn't be good until you have the GPS of your light itself to direct you, to know more about multidimensional travel, to know more about your star family's home. You're all just waking up to these truths. As you begin, for instance, to know more and more about your star family, that will create a frequency that will create a GPS system. And when you get that in alignment to your star family, that's when I believe Stargate will be able to be used as a teleportation device. That's an example.
Yeah, I mean, that fits with what Alcazar has been saying, is that this structure is to remind you of that ability, the Stargate within you. Yeah.
Of course, he would say that. And of course, I know the energetics there, and it is so beautiful. And he is so, of course, he's the one to bring it in. But it does remind, it is like a GPS system. As soon as someone sits in it, designed to bring you to this highest state of your potentiality. And then it's up to you what you do with that.
Mm.
And
So
then it's up to you what you do with it in terms of what else then you can work with the Stargate to do. It's multi-purposeful in my mind.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
indeed.
Beautiful reflection. Thank you. So, is there something else that you would like to share with the audience that you haven't touched on yet? I'm sure there's a great big long list, but in this moment.
So I would like to share a couple of things. One is the question of disclosure. There has been a great separation trauma on your planet where you have been separated from the truth of your cosmic home. You can't believe the life force that now separates you, the life force that is missing. So everyone asks about disclosure. And I say to you, in 2025, it will be a big year of individual revelation. Disclosure is not about your governments. You know, even all of the drones that have been seen all around the East Coast, the ETs are finally deciding they're going to join the drones. Whatever your military is up to with new spaceships and all that, the ETs are now joining with aircrafts. So when you see the drones, when you see all these events, you're going to be seeing not only man-made or human-made vehicles, you're going to be seeing interspersed with them real ET crafts. They can come close to the earth that way and also distribute kind of fuel for your consciousness journey. I think this is very funny as the military does all these actions now. Now they're in a quandary. You know why? Because they know some of the drones were ET crafts and they know this. What are they going to say now to the public? So it kind of does a little screwy things with these minds that are creating this. But we always like to have a sense of humor about how humans construct things. But many individuals are going, what this light field does that is within you, when it's released, it will release memories in many of you of being on spaceships when you were little. Good spaceships, beautiful ones, where you met other ET children. Some of you will have memories of contact that you never had before. This is all coming. Some of you will have much more happen in dream time. And some of that has to do with ETs and celestials that will come more into your dream time. Some of you will have downloads coming into your dream about brand new modalities for healing and science and art and music and sound. You will have downloads. Much of this is going to be coming in dream time. And so as you begin to individually recognize the truth that you are a star being, that you have star families, many of you are more familiar with your star living than you are with earth living. And this will come to be. And what is that to do? It's to trigger within you the gifts from those star families that you have come to earth to manifest, to bring in the new dawn. So all of this will be happening in 2025. And more ETs will be coming down as walk-ins and look like humans, but they will be ETs. So you will start communicating with ETs unbeknownst to you, but in that communication, you will be learning telepathy and all kinds of beautiful things. So that is the way disclosure is stepping up. By the time the government announces, so many of the population will already know the truth of this and be able to hold it and then watch what happens. And so more ETs will come closer. You won't be so frightened when a mantis being comes to your porch to ring your doorbell. You will say, "Come in, I've been waiting for you," instead of screaming. You know, I laugh at humans. They say, "Bring your craft down. Let me see all the ETs on the craft." And I say, "You're not quite ready." Again,
Yeah.
you would faint to see our craft. You would faint to see some of these beings. But you are moving towards the ability in your higher vibrational consciousness to hold these things that will happen. And so I say that about disclosure. It's exciting. Many of you will have knowings of the truth of contact already. You will have knowings of these beautiful beings of like Alcazar and Zazar and Kyra, all these beautiful beings that are coming into earth. You will know for certain. In that knowing, you will open up your own channels to begin to communicate to higher beings. All of this is coming. And it is, to me, is so exciting.
It's funny that you mentioned mantis beings, because there were a couple of them that were behind me a long time ago, 15 years ago maybe, in one of the workshops.
Well, I
Yeah,
would suggest, where did they go?
that I don't know. Perhaps you know that better than I do.
Well, let me tell you this. The mantis beings are very interesting. They have a very interesting politeness. So my thought to you, Brigitte, is to invite them back, because they are very polite and they wait for invitations. First of all, they kind of realize humans think they look funny. Of course, they think humans look funny, but so once we get used to everybody is funny, we can just laugh with a joyful heart and move on. But you can ask for them to return, because I feel like they will have a gift for you. They have an amazing ability to hum their exoskeleton bodies. What do I mean by that? They can cause a low tremor of their exoskeletons that would be imperceptible for you to hear, but extremely healing sound. So if they were already there, I would call them back, and you might be surprised at the healing sounding. You might even start to hear their tones, but if you don't, you might start feeling the vibration for your body and your heart. And this would be a very beautiful thing. They are incredible healers, and humans will discover this.
Beautiful. Yeah, I'm sending that invitation right now. This is such a great joy sharing this with you and with the audience, because I feel like there's been such a preparation for these times. And when we're hearing from you and from Alcazar, and actually from other sources too, that next year is going to be such a roller coaster ride in a way, it's slowly beginning to sink in on a different level. And that humans need to hear it again and again and again before we actually start to listen. And so it's really beautiful to get your reflection. Alcazar was talking, and for several years, about that the Earth physically is moving into another area of space. And Cryan was talking about that a few days ago. And again, you're mentioning that this is a physical alignment that's supporting this awakening too, that everything is really working together in multidimensional ways.
It's most amazing, and that's what makes this time exactly what you say. Things are coming together that have never come together before. And just note that if you feel, pay attention to the individual roller coaster, not the roller coaster you will see in your culture, in your education, in your governments, in countries. Pay attention crucially to your own, because you will be going on a roller coaster too. And that roller coaster is a great sign that you are going through dimensional changes. And so just make sure that is what you are paying attention to, rather than the roller coaster you will see in all the cracks and crumbles going on in chaos in your outer world. As you begin to pay attention to your individual roller coaster and begin to feel how you can begin to glide higher and higher, you will be the ones that will change everything that is crumbling in your outside world. Now, I say to everybody in the audience, know that if you are listening, there is no question about it. You have beacons already open. Congratulations. So happy So happy for you. You have beacons already open to be one of the ones going through this process. And in doing so, see the hope in that. See the hope that you are here, that you are listening, and you are listening because of some resonation that is already alive and well within you. And you will be the ones to ride this through. You will be the ones taking the clay from both the chaos out there that results and the new clay that is in you to begin to sculpt and co-create the new dawn that is coming. And you will be the co-creators. This is one of the biggest things to know. It is the human, not us, but the human that now has the capabilities, that now can begin to take their hands and sculpt a new future from that which is your highest heart, led by your heart, bringing the human race back to the one of the most incredible things that the human race holds, and that is their high heart. Love, joy, grace, compassion, kindness. And this is where your earth is headed. Why? Because this is where you're headed.
So beautiful, Zazar. Mic drop moment. This is interesting you took it there, because I wanted to ask you one final question, and that is to talk to us about our high heart, our higher love, our higher potentials.
Well, that is what I only see in you. And listen, there are so many here in the light circle around your planet. Why are they here? Why are so many extraterrestrials, celestials? Because they are here to see that even in your darkness, even in your densities, even in the trauma and the harm that humans have done to each other and your inhabitants on the planet, the heart has survived. And you will see in a drama moment, someone saving an animal, someone reaching out to love a homeless. You will see the heart all over the planet. You don't have those kind of news stations, but we see how the heart continues to survive over and over and over. And it is your beautiful frequency of this heart love. And you know yourself when you are in love, when you are loving that which is outside of you, merging with it, creating higher energies of healing through your heart. This is what you will walk with, letting the heart lead the way. And let me tell you something. The importance of this is because when the heart is in these higher frequencies, it creates a light that will begin to light up your entire earth. And when this light rises up from your heart to love each other in this new fifth dimensional way, the entire planet will light up, and from outer space, it will look like a star. And this light from your planet will send out waves of light to those planets who are about to also tip into a new era. And as Earth tips, there is nothing brighter than a light that is birthed from the darkness. And when Earth bursts her light, it will spread through the galaxy, causing ripples and waves of light in many places in your galaxy. And then your whole galaxy will move to a higher dimensional level. And as your whole galaxy lights up, it will create a light that will feed many galaxies that are still in a darker time. And eventually this will create a ripple where all the galaxies in your entire universe are moving up to a higher timeline of light. And when that happens, your entire universe will co-create a new universe. Just like on Earth, the humans are co-creating a new dawn. And so humans think, what is the purpose? Having no idea that as you allow your own light to birth itself, as you help others do this, you are turning on a light that will have repercussions for your whole universe to birth yet another universe. This is how source light works.
Mm.
And the light that will come from Earth, you can't imagine how bright it will be. So that's a little bit about the heart.
Ah.
I have full body goosebumps.
Yeah. Wow. So what a great introduction to Marilyn and Zazar. It's really very, very special. And so we should let people know what's coming up.
Thank you so much for sharing your light, your high heart, your energy with all of us, and Marilyn for allowing it to shine through so beautifully. So there's two invitations for all of you watching today. The first is we are going to be taking this collaboration into its very first manifestation as a energy experience and free live stream together. And that's going to be happening next week. So you can go to stargate.live/Zazar. Make sure that you're signed up for that. We'll be blasting out the meditation afterward and the replay. And as always, it's going to be an experience. So this is going to be very fascinating and exciting, and we're really looking forward to seeing how the energies merge.
Yeah, that's going to be bringing Alcazar and Zazar energetically together and sharing some experience. And we've got no idea how that will be, but it feels very exciting already.
Well, I'll tell you this, I'm back. Some people ask, well, what is this about 2025? And I'll say, part of what it is Alcazar and Zazar are coming together to produce an amazing happening.
Mm-hmm.
You're ringing a bell. When Zazar came through you with the channeling we did about our mini series, he said something like that. Like, you have no idea what this collaboration energy is unlocking. So that's
I don't either.
Yeah.
I know it's true.
Yeah, and neither do we. And that's
Yeah.
I think that's the delight of being in this human body, is we get to rediscover these multidimensional
Yeah.
facets.
And then we've got the longer experience, the
So
weekend together.
yeah, this year we're going to be starting to do something called Stargate mini series, and the idea there is a condensed energy blast where we get to explore various topics. And so the heart of this mini series we'll be doing is all about breaking free into our multidimensional selves. And that's the title of it. You can go to stargate.live/multidimensional and sign up for that. It's going to be happening over the weekend of the 11th and 12th. And there are going to be 3 sessions each day, which is going to allow us to build an exquisite energy field and fully explore this collaboration energy.
Mm. So amazing. This is just so amazing. And it's a delight because this is existence in all its multifaceted ways, really bringing us into the taste and the experience of this new reality. And as Alcazar says so many times, you hear the words, but it's the energy behind the words that really creates the movement, the change, the integration into this new reality.
Absolutely.
Thank you for that. That is, Zazar always says to me, it's important to listen to the words because that's your language. But even more important are the in-between vibrations. Even when I was writing the book with him, he would say, the space between each word is where the real healing lies.
Mm-hmm.
And that's that vibration.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's supercharged, the vibrations that are coming through you, through Zazar, through that stream of cosmic consciousness and all that it represents, all the expansion. And I just want to say that light technology that Zazar talks about and that raising the frequency, I felt it today in a way that really inspired me. in that way that Zazar is describing, how connecting up, that ability that we have to merge with beings, with the all that is, and as a way of like breaking through and just letting that ice melt. I really felt that, and so I want to thank you.
That means the world to me, right there. Thank you.
And yeah, I mean, I just want to honor your personal journey and of breaking free in order to be able to bring this energy through in such a beautiful, beautiful way. It's a delight.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
Breaking free is never easy until you begin to feel the bonds of the breaking dissolve and the freedom truly felt.
Yeah, and I think that's the message for everyone. It seems difficult at first, but it gains the momentum, and in some ways it becomes easier. You're still dealing with stuff, but because you start to have the experience of, wow, I've changed. So this is working somehow. I don't understand the mechanism or the process, but something is working because I can feel I'm changing.
Well, Zazar always says to me, when you feel the changing, that's the understanding. Because of course, in the beginning, I would always say, well, I want to understand this in the frameworks that I understand things. And he goes, no, no, no. It's the feeling of the vibration that begins to grow circuitry to truly understand it. It's the feeling of that moment.
Yeah, Augustar talks about the phrase has just left my head.
That's good. You're just in the vibration.
Yeah. The knowing beyond the mind.
Knowing beyond the mind is so crucial.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's where it's at.
Yeah. Okay, beloved one, thank you for being with us, and we look forward to being with you in a few days' time as well.
Yeah.
Can't wait. What a great way to kick the year off.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah, absolutely. And Happy New Year to you and to everybody watching.
And to everyone watching, there's going to be a replay of this. It's available
Instantly.
Yeah. And please, if you're touched by this, share it with those people who you feel might be open for their own acceleration, because this is such a gift to the planet. And we need to let as many people know, because the more people that are moving together, the easier it becomes for all of us.
Totally.
Yeah.
Love you guys.
Love you so much. Take care. Bye-bye. We'll see you all again.
Okay.